Hi guys, just had a little notification there. This is my first live video. I hope to do some more, but we're just going to see how this goes. This is an opportunity to do some Qigong with me in real time. And if you like what you see, feel free to leave a comment and some positivity. And if it's not for you, then that's fine as well. Okay, so I'm just in one of my rooms at home and we don't need anything, just ourselves and a bit of patience. I'm going to ask you to join me with your feet hips width, or if you're feeling a little unstable, go as wide as your shoulders, and if needs be, take a chair. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is make or point your big toes forwards. Then I'm going to ask you to place one hand on the front of your pelvis, one hand on the back of your pelvis, and then gently drop your tailbone down and allow your knees to gently soften and open. So this is very much a beginner's opportunity. If you've never done it before, then this is that chance. And if you have, then maybe, let me know if there's anything else that you wish to do. We are in our horse stance, a very relaxed and stable stance. We're not asking a great deal from ourselves. The one thing I will say is if you struggle with your knees, this is a great opportunity to begin a new pattern of loading. So because I am settling you into your pelvis, I want you to imagine you're sitting on a pony, but your feet can still touch the floor. And although whatever the pony or the object that you're using to sit upon is taking most of your body weight, we still need our feet to take the rest. We breathe. And the next thing is I'm going to ask you to place the chin gently in towards the throat. And this allows us to lift the top of the head, or the crown of the head, up. And this puts us in a nice alignment from the crown of the head, through the neck, down the spine, and down towards the floor. I'm going to ask you now to place your arms beside you. Now, we're not looking to put any pressure on our shoulders. And what I mean by that is if I ask you to lift your arms out and you go too far, you're going to feel some real tension on the outside of the shoulders. So as I ask you to come back, I want you to be able to relax those arms, relax those shoulders, and breathe. And we're going to take a couple of moments in each of these positions. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So within our Qigong practice, we're looking at effortless effort. We're looking at asking the body to support us as we support it, with our breath, with our patience. I want you to acknowledge any tension or any restrictions, but I don't want you to fixate on it. So if you're struggling in the neck and the shoulders, okay. Can you breathe into that area? Can you make some adjustments in that area? And although I don't want you to massively move, there is nothing wrong with putting a little bit of rhythm into your stance. A little gentle swaying. And just checking in So from here, our breathing through the entire body, I'm going to ask you now to bring your hands out in front of you and gently open and close those fingers. Everything within a Qigong practice is about the bare minimum. Effortless effort. So although I'm asking you to open and close your hands, how much do you really need to give the movement? Enough to feel a stretch in the skin? If we're hurting our forearms or our wrists are sore from other activities, then I don't want you to exacerbate that. Opening and closing. And relaxing. From our fingers, I'm going to ask you to go to wrists. And again, the areas that I like to think about when I'm moving things is the skeleton. And although you can't move the skeleton without using the muscles, I want you to think like this. I'm moving the skeleton. I'm stimulating the skin around the joints. And then I'm thinking of the elastic bands that run through me. Ribbons. This will be the connective tissue, the fascia that runs through the body. If we think like this, then we help the muscles to not overcompensate. And I'm going to ask you now to change the direction. I'm going to ask you to try not to speed up. And if anything else, can you slow down? Moving through that range, through the wrists, and hoping that no more is being asked of the neck or the shoulders. 2, 1, and let go there. So I'm going to ask you now for some perspective to come out of your stance. Gently. And I'm going to ask you now to just do a little shake for me. So I'm going to ask you to just shake the wrists and the forearms. I'm going to ask you to gently fold forwards. If you do struggle with the lower back, support yourself. Maybe come down one at a time. And I'm going to ask you to very gently twist and get that rhythm coming through the bum, the lower back, the rib cage, and the shoulders. The less effort, the better. And I want you to just feel like a tree blowing in the wind. And then gently bring yourself back up your legs. And then come up out of your hips. So once again, I'm going to ask you to join me back in your mabu, okay, our horse stance. Our big toes are pointing forwards. We soften into the pelvis, gently allowing the pelvis to drop at the back. The knees gently come out. This is not overly pressured because we don't want our feet to fold out. And I'm going to ask you to sink. Sink into the pelvis. Keep those shoulders relaxed. And I'm going to ask you to join me. Soft fists in line with the collarbones. Elbows parallel with the floor. And I'm going to ask you now to breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you continue to breathe, we're going to rise and fall. Breathing into the diaphragm, expanding the lungs. Rib cage rises and falls, and so do our forearms, our elbows. And from here, I'm going to ask you to gently open up. One palm comes out in front of you, the other palm comes out behind you. I'm going to ask you to come back to center. Breathe. And again, hand comes out in front of you, hand comes out behind you. If I change my position now, I'm going to ask you to come in your relaxed position and stay relaxed. So my pelvis points forwards. I gently open up the chest. Breathe in transition. And allow your thoracic spine to rotate. I'm going to come back now to face the camera. So from this lovely Mabu standing position, I open up the chest. If I need to check my hands, I'm looking to see whether they come out in line with my sternum. And like a pole or a rod going through me, I want my hands to mirror one another. From here, I'm going to ask you to come back into breathing through the entire body. And I'm going to do a bit of body mapping once again. So firstly, my feet, hips width. My pelvis relaxed in the tailbone. My hands aren't forced, and so neither are my arms. My chin gently comes into my throat as the top of my head aligns with the ceiling and through my spine. This is one of our meridian lines, the microcosmic orbit. My body weight are completely in my feet, not the front of my feet or the back, but the entirety of the foot. I'm also not placing pressure on the outsides of my feet. I'm trying to keep completely stable throughout the entire foot. And lastly, for 5 breaths, I'm going to ask you to place your tongue on the roof of your mouth just behind your teeth. My last exercise today is going to be penetrating earth and sky. In this movement, I'm going to ask you to take a breath in, and then when we drop our hands down towards the floor, we breathe out. So preparation breath, preparation over and. As I breathe in through transition, as I breathe out, so within our Wu Wei effortless effort style, I really want you to not over challenge your movement. If there's any exertion, it will be coming from either putting too much pressure on your range, your breathing, you are not allowing it to run to its full range, and you may be holding your breath. And lastly, this is not a criticism. If you are flexible and you're able to touch the floor, I'm going to ask you to put a gentle bend in your wrist. So when we come down to the ground, we don't place our hands in our fatigued, used chi. So we're taking the fresh chi from above and we're allowing the used fatigued chi to leave through the feet, and therefore we don't want to put our hands into our muddy well. As previously said, if this routine that I have just presented is beneficial to you, you'd like to see more of these things, then please leave it in the comment below. I'm going to ask you now to join me back in breathing through the entire body. However, I'm going to ask you to bring one hand in front of the other, in front of our lower dantian. I would like 2 inches roughly between the hands, so I don't want them touching. And although we've brought our hands now out in front of our body, this doesn't mean that I ask you to pull the shoulders forward or place any more pressure on your body. Breathe. Relax into the hips. And if this is the first time you've come across me, my name is Sam. I'm based in the UK. I'm a sports therapist, practitioner of Kung Fu and Qigong, and I very much enjoy starting my days like this. So if you would like to join me, please do. I wish you a lovely day. See you in the next one. Take care.